Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I am back with another video, and today I want to address a little bit of concern and some information about the video I posted on Friday, just simply because I got further clarification on it by reading the actual law itself. I decided to make that video unlisted, and you can view the video. I will have a link to below. I just made it unlisted, and which is sad because, I did make a couple announcements in that video, which I'll talk about after the break. But I wanted to make sure that I gave information correct, even though it is still something, in my opinion, that's outlandish, and I don't think that it is solving the problem that they are trying to address. So, of course, I got a lot to talk about. Sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's transform and roll out. Okay, first thing, of course, that I want to address is the fact that, yes, if you did not see that video that I posted on Friday, I am going to TFCon on March 20th through the 22nd. I will be there all weekend in Orlando, Florida. I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see anybody there that is going. I'd also talked about the new 4-issue miniseries that is going to be published by IDW, that is going to take place before and kind of in between the first 12 issues of the original G1 Marvel comic, and is going to have Straxus facing Starsaber, and is going to be continuing on with the whole idea of Shockwave. It also believes that Megatron needs to be taken out, and I had also addressed how I did not like the fact that they made Optimus out to somewhat not be a hero any longer, and that kind of bothered me. But if you want to see more details about that, of course, you can still see that video. But I wanted to address this because this, of course, was the beginning of the video. This is what most of you commented on. This is what most of you guys had been tweeting and retweeting. At the end of the day, here's the thing. I have a G1 Megatron right here. And is he illegal to own? No, he's not illegal to own. And that is what the headlines and a lot of the articles that were out there, in New Jersey were posting and were talking about and making talking points about, that misled a lot of people and made them think, including myself, that not only they were making the sale of the toy illegal, but they were also making it, illegal to own, and that just by owning it is a crime, and that is not entirely true. And what do I mean by that? Well, according to the actual bill itself and what the actual law says, and again, I want to make sure that I make this point here before I really talk about the actual bill. I hate politics. I don't like politicians. I don't like talking politics. I don't care what political party you're a part of. I don't care what personal beliefs you have. I am a toy collector, and I am a fan of Transformers, and I like talking about Transformers. But this happens to affect toy collectors like myself, and which is why I'm addressing it on the channel. But I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the right information, because I was misled a little bit. What the actual bill says is that a toy gun means a facsimile or reproduction of a firearm that is marketed as a product intended for children or substantially similar in appearance, size, shape to a genuine firearm. Okay, so what this actually does is this expands what a toy gun is. G1 Megatron is based on a Walther P38. He is a toy gun. According to federal law, any toy gun that is made as a replica of any gun made before 1898 is not considered one. So in other words, if a gun was manufactured in, let's say 1850, and they made a toy gun of it, then that would not be under federal law. This expands that. Now, a person shall not sell, transfer, or assign a toy gun or imitation firearm as defined by the subsection here, unless it is. Now, just want to clarify what sell, transfer, and assign technically means. To sell it means that I can't take this toy and say to my neighbor, hey, you know, you're a Transformers fan too. You want to buy this for like $50, which I wouldn't sell for $50. I'd probably sell it for more. But that would be illegal. So would be going to a toy show and someone's selling G1 Megatron there. And you say, well, just keep him in robot mode. He turns into a toy gun. You know, the way to get around that, of course, would be to put it in robot mode. But we also know about Masterpiece Megatron. And Masterpiece Megatron, they had, when they imported him, they had to put the orange cap on some of them. At least the first Masterpiece. I don't think they had to do so for the second one. Could be wrong. Not sure. But the transfer of it, which also means that transfer could possibly mean, would be transporting it. So in other words, I can't move to another house with him. Right? But it also means, selling or trading, or assigning. Now, assigning would possibly mean, let's say I wanted to give this as a gift to somebody. That would be considered against the law as well. Unless it is a color other than black, blue, silver, or aluminum. So, yeah, he's gray. And chrome and black, and so yeah, G1 Megatron cannot be sold to anybody here, which at a retail level, federally, he already can't. And it says marked with a removable orange stripe, at least 1 inch. Now this kind of goes into like the details of it. Basically means that, like, if in order for me to sell it, I'd have to spray paint the whole thing a different color, and then the tip itself would have to be painted orange, and then the entire barrel would have to be orange as well. So it couldn't just be like the tip of the barrel. You can't just put an orange plug on the top. Oh yeah, and I have to close this, which, because this is, can fire plastic pellets. So reading the actual law, yeah, it doesn't go that crazy. But here's the thing. I want to be upfront about some of the statements that I made in that video, and understanding about why I still feel the way that I do, and it doesn't really change how my outlook on things. I believe in freedom, right? I believe that people should have the right to be able to own and purchase, items that, okay, this is a toy. We know this is a toy. Yeah, I'm a guy who's in my 30s and I collect toys. Do you collect baseball cards? Do you collect, collect things? If you do, then, you might be mad if they ban the sale of it, or be like, kind of like, well, now I have something that's illegal, like it's kind of like one of those things. It doesn't necessarily mean, toys in general. I mean, it could be anything. But for me personally, I'm a toy collector. Now, again, I'll say this again. I believe in freedom. I believe that people that if we go by what the U.S. Constitution says, I believe in those rights that we have to have those freedoms. And I don't think that this, solves the issue that they have. The reason why this whole bill was enacted was because of an incident that occurred in Ohio. Very public thing that ended up happening. A police officer, shot a 12-year-old boy in Ohio because he was brandishing a toy gun. And the thing is that he was out on the street brandishing it. Go back and forth about whether or not how they acted was right. That's not the issue. I say that by banning the sale of a toy like this, does not solve the problem. It only increases the fear of it. You know what I mean? So what ends up happening is that you have police who have to react at a certain time, and you have people who are not doing things properly. In other words, they're, I'm not going to go out in the street and start pointing this at my friends because that's already against the law, right? I'm not going to, go play, in other words, if I'm in the woods and I'm playing toy guns with my friends, which I'm in my 30s. Obviously, I'm not going to be going off and doing that. But if kids are going off and playing with toy guns, in the woods or in their backyard or something like that, they have to run the risk of, can they end up a victim, right? And so what this law is trying to do is saying, well, you can't sell it. Well, what if kids already own it? It's already against the law to, make it, to brandish it and to go out and make it look like you're committing a crime. But if you're out in the woods or in your backyard playing with a toy, there has to be a balance. And some people don't know the balance of these things. And when I talk about things like, police not having discretion, I can go to this particular article here where accidental shootings show police training gaps. So in other words, what I'm stating here is that there is a gap in training. I understand that police go through a lot of training. I understand that they go through a lot of things to make sure that they are acting properly. And I also know this because I have friends, I have relatives, and I've seen firsthand how they go through their training. But I also know that not every state is the same, and not every precinct is the same. And I also know that some people are a little more aggressive than they should be. And this isn't to say every single police officer. I don't have anything against police officers. I know some people do. I know some of my viewers have problems with police officers. I don't. In fact, if anything, I'll defend a police officer if they were doing the right thing, which 99% of the time they are, but at the same time, incidents that, where a woman is at a supermarket and accidentally, gets shot, that's where people have an issue. And again, this is a toy. But if I go out in the street and play with this toy in my neighborhood, someone is going to know, is not going to know that this is a toy because it doesn't necessarily look like a toy. So there's balance. Personally, I think the federal restriction that all it has to have is an orange cap solves the problem, in that it signifies that it's a gun. And it's not a gun, that it is a toy. But the state of New Jersey thinks that going further than that will solve the problem. Personally, I don't think it will. If you really want to know how we're going to solve the issue, the way we solve the issue is like this. You got kids out there that like to play with different toys and stuff like that. You need to teach them a little bit of responsibility when it comes down to toys and how they play with them out in the world. And you have, at the same time, I think that some of these, articles like this that is stating things that, hey, how come there isn't as much training in every single precinct? I think there needs to be a better, a better federal regulation on training to prevent incidents where things that happened on accident. There's never going to be 100% of the time that will protect someone from, and these laws that usually get passed are usually feel-good laws that make you feel good, to that, hey, we put a stop to that. And it's like, well, you didn't solve this problem, and you didn't solve that problem. Instead, what you did was you just, put a Band-Aid on a bigger wound, and you're not really solving the problem. And again, I don't care what political party you're part of. I don't care what how you feel about like if you are for or against law enforcement. Again, I've already stated how I feel about it, but I wanted to clarify how I feel about the law, and how I think that it is really not. It does not solve the real issues at hand. And I can go all day about how. I can go on all day about how my own state legislature has often stated things that saying that the will of the people should be ignored. publicly have stated it, that these people should be ignored, because we need to enact better laws. And it didn't necessarily have to do with this particular law, but it had to do with other ones. And when you scratch your head and you go, so what you're saying is that you don't listen to people who put you in place to represent us. And that goes to show you a lack of empathy in a lot of ways. But again, I wanted to clarify this, and I hope that I have clarified this, and you do see the middle ground when it comes down to it. But I still think that owning a toy gun like this should not be banned in general. And I know my international friends, those of you who are in the UK and those of you who are in Canada and Australia, where you can't even own a G1 Megatron, I find it absolutely ridiculous, because again, it is a toy, and owning it at this point now in 2020s, it's now owning it becomes more of a collector's item, because kids nowadays are more so playing with different types of toys. So I want to know what you guys think. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe, and check out my other videos as well. I am going to be doing a toy review. I said that I was going to be doing that, but I'm still working on that one. And I also have a Transformers discussion video coming soon, so stay tuned for all that. As always, until next time, till all are one.